The power of wanting, the feeling of wanting, the ache of wanting and not quite receiving. Hello, internet. Today I'm sitting in my car, like deep in it, like in my feels. Just thinking about like the power of wanting, especially with the New Year's, right? So people are always thinking about the goals that they want for the new year and what they're trying to accomplish and achieve. And of course, like I I joined that bandwagon, right? And thinking about what I want to prioritize and how I want this year to go. And I was just thinking about some of the things that I want and how some of them feel so just like completely like almost impossible. And this feeling that like I want it so badly and I don't know if I'll ever get it. And of course I'm Muslim, right? So basically anything that's written for me, I'm not gonna miss out upon, right? So like if XYZ, if it was written that I would get XYZ, I am going to get those things regardless, because that is what is written for me. That is my risk. And then the other thing I kept reminding myself of was just that like there are things I have now that I wanted so badly that took a very, 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 very long time to get. For example, the car I'm sitting in right now took so long. SubhanAllah, it took so long. I was driving a car that like didn't have air conditioning in the summer and it was so hot. I was driving a car that like the window would fog, the glass would fog, and then I couldn't see anything, and I was just praying that I'd make it because like the little thingy to like clear the fog wasn't really working properly. Like SubhanAllah, like there was a time when this car felt like that impossible dream that I couldn't get. And alhamdulillah, I'm in it now. And you know, like hindsight is 2020, right? Oh, just because I feel like something is impossible or really hard to get or just like very far out of my reach doesn't mean that it is. It's just kind of putting things into perspective. And then also there's this feeling that once you get the thing that you've been hoping for so long, like once you get it, it's like it kind of loses its luster and its value. And so you get it and you're like, oh, well, now I'm seeing like this and this flaw in it, or like this isn't exactly what I thought it'd be, and it didn't heal everything I wanted it to heal. And it's ultimately the realization that like there are things you can collect in life. Capitalism, baby. There are things you can collect in life. But ultimately, like, that level of, like, change and self-satisfaction is gonna have to come from within. None of the things that are wants in me are things that are going to, like, they're not things that are going to make me, like, necessarily happy with myself or make me love myself or make me, like, make my anxiety disappear, right? But there are still things that I want, right? And there are things that I'm gonna make dua for and work towards and try my best towards. But I always have to make that realization or that comment to help ground myself and be able to tell myself, hey, like, even when you get this thing, like, it's not gonna fix every single problem in your life. Like, that's not where that comes from, okay, sweetheart? But even with all of those realizations, right, even with all of those thoughts, all of those ways of categorizing the wants that are within me, I was still driving, thinking about all these things I'm striving for and I've been working towards for whether I wanted it for a decade or since just yesterday or last week or whatever. And it's just like I still feel like this ache in me today. Like there's still this hole in me that I don't quite understand. And so that's why I was crying, because it's just like, you know, I'm not crying out of like necessarily a sadness or an emptiness, but more just like I know these things and yet I still feel the need to release this emotion that I can't quite name or grasp, but it's in me and I feel the need to be able to express it, because I'm not very good. As much as I'm a writer girly, I'm not very good at like kind of sitting in my feels. I kind of tend to avoid things, but yeah, so that is my car chat for today. It's been a while since I've done one of these, actually.